Right now at noon, 2 Christian County, Missouri deputies and a suspect have died after a traffic stop turned into a manhunt.
And we've got a very windy day out there. Red flag warnings in place. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, with the spring severe weather season just around the corner, being prepared means protecting more than just ourselves.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
3 people are now confirmed dead in an overnight officer-involved shooting incident in Highlandville and near Reed Spring, Missouri. This is KOAM News. I'm Samantha Walker. The Christian County Sheriff Brad Cole has confirmed that 2 officers have died and another 2 were injured but are expected to recover. About 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon, the suspect Richard Dean Bird shot and killed Deputy Gabriel Ramirez in a traffic stop near Highway 160 and later fled into the woods armed with a rifle. Authorities say officers in a wooded perimeter came under fire around 11:30 last night with at least 2 hit after hours of searching for Bird.
The suspect, once deputies were close to him, immediately opened fire on the deputies, and 3 deputies were shot during that time.
He says law enforcement returned fire and Bird is deceased. You can find more updates on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, if you didn't catch it earlier, take a look at our camera downtown Pittsburgh, shaking around like there's an earthquake. No earthquake out there, just very gusty winds. And at last check, so just before noon, wind gust at the Joplin Airport was 47 miles an hour. So we mentioned that that's a possibility. This is wind you don't want to mess with, regardless of the fire danger. If you're in a high-profile vehicle, a medium-profile vehicle, even a low-profile vehicle, wind gusts approaching 50 miles an hour can certainly knock you around a bit. We got a live look, MoDOT camera, 30-second in range line. See how dark it is out there. It looks like it's going to rain today. It is not going to rain today. So again, don't get that false sense of security from these darker skies that there's rain on the way, because at least for today, there's not. Take a look at numbers yesterday, way below normal, only to 39, started at 15, so about 16 degrees off pace for normal and not far from a record low set back in 1989 of 8 degrees. Now we're doing much better today, going above average. 59 in Joplin right now, 54 in Pittsburgh. Around the region, temperatures, even though we've got the clouds, warming quite nicely. Mid-upper 50s, some low 60s down south. We've got Grove as the warm spot right now at 62. All of us anywhere from 25 to 30 degrees warmer right now than where we were at this time yesterday. So a very nice warm up. Mostly cloudy skies continue. We're still gusty overnight initially, and after about 2 a.m., those winds should begin to ease up. Temperatures gradually falling back into the low 50s by 11. We're going to talk about these winds, these dry conditions, and when some real rain might arrive here in just a few more minutes. Samantha?
Thanks, Chris. We'll take a look at what the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics found in Ottawa County when they served warrants into suspected illegal cultivation and obtaining OBN registrations by fraud. The agents came away with nearly 700 pounds of processed marijuana and more than 41,000 marijuana plants. They've taken at least 3 people into custody and they expect more arrests. We know at least some of this police activity was along Highway 125 between Miami and Fairland, Oklahoma. State, federal, county, city, and tribal police agencies have been working together on this case. Well, Missouri marks Severe Weather Preparedness Week March 2nd through March 6th. A statewide tornado drill is set for 11 a.m. Wednesday, March 4th, with schools, businesses, and families urged to practice taking cover and review their emergency plans. The Weather Service reports 16 Missourians died in tornadoes in 2025, in addition to deaths from flooding and other severe storms. Well, as the 4 states gear up for severe weather season, being prepared means protecting more than just ourselves. KOAM's Kenny Foreman sat down with local experts to learn more about keeping your animals safe.
When it comes to natural disaster preparedness, Crawford County Emergency Management stresses that the precautions needed to be taken for animals is not all that different from those needed to be taken for humans.
A couple days of food and water. If you have any medications, if the pet has any medications, make sure you have 3 to 7 days worth of medications as well. For pets, make sure they're microchipped or you have a collar with their ID badge, knowing where the owner is as well as their home. And then Also, like bathroom products for the pets.
Girard Animal Hospital owner Dr. Laura Moreland says it's important to keep a watchful eye on where your pets are and keep them out of harm's way.
To me, it's just a matter of handling them like you would your child. You'll take care of them. You'll see that they're protected. And if you have to leave, like in a fire or something, then you put them in the car and off you go.
Oklahoma State University Extension Specialist for Beef Cattle David Lalman notes that wildfires in particular can put livestock at harm, making it imperative for cattle owners to make sure the fire doesn't spread to areas where they are roaming about.
Make sure, that there's no fuel buildup right around those buildings, and that they've prepared the area, ahead of time to ensure that a wildfire in particular, can't access those buildings.
And if their living space is unsafe, he recommends having an evacuation plan in place.
Closer to being bare dirt, that might be kind of an escape zone for a group of animals. And in a year where you have a lot of fuel available, an area like that in a pasture could be very helpful.
Kenny Foreman, KOAM News.
The Kansas State Animal Response Team says a lack of preparation can increase the time spent for everyone in a dangerous situation. Well, the Miami Public Library kicks off its 6-day Homegrown History Conference yesterday, exploring the rich past of Ottawa County. Yesterday's sessions focused on Indigenous roots and early settlement, featuring presentations on Miami, Ottawa, Shawnee, Wyandot, and Quapaw tribal histories.
I love giving these talks about Shawnee history. It's something when I wake up, I'm thinking about Shawnee things. When I go to bed, I'm thinking about Shawnee things. And so to go out there and show how much pride we have in our nation, what we've been able to accomplish. And so that's something I'm really proud to do, and I'm honored to be able to do that work.
The conference runs through Saturday and covers topics from mining history and archaeology to the transformation of Main Street through the decades. Well, in Pittsburgh, a former Ground Zero first responder now helps current frontline workers combat burnout. Chandra Davis and her husband, pastors at Pitt Church, applied for the Frontline Builders and Happy Products campaign that sends free coffee pods to frontline workers nationwide. Emergency workers in a number of communities in southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri are benefiting from this program. Well, coming up, President Trump is preparing to deliver the State of the Union address before a joint session of Congress this evening, and he's already warning about the length. And later, we're making a shepherd's pie soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. President Trump has warned his State of the Union address tonight will be long. The White House says the president will address a number of issues, from domestic policies such as the economy to foreign policy issues such as Iran's nuclear program. Natalie Brand has more details from Capitol Hill.
Address tonight. You're going to hear a speech that is a celebration of 250 years of our nation and our nation's independence.
But with midterm elections less than 9 months away, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says President Trump's State of the Union address tonight will focus largely on the economy.
The president will lay out the case for why he and Republicans are better suited to continue tackling the affordability crisis that was created by the Biden administration and Democrats on Capitol Hill.
This speech comes as the president's signature policies, from tariffs to immigration enforcement, face pushback in the courts and Congress, and during week 2 of a partial government shutdown impacting the Department of Homeland Security.
He will call on Democrats in Congress to reopen the Department of Homeland Security.
Lawmakers and Americans at home will also be listening to what President Trump says about Iran, with a massive military buildup in the region and the administration weighing possible military action over the country's nuclear program.
Everything is on the table. It's the president's decision. We're here to help ensure that a deal is made. And I think Iran would be wise to make a good deal.
Nuclear talks are scheduled later this week, and the administration is briefing congressional leaders today. But Senator Alyssa Slotkin, a former CIA analyst, says she is concerned about the end game.
I was just in the Middle East last week, and there's definitely movement of a ton of military assets into the theater, a lot of jittery people. I think the most important thing is, what exactly are we trying to do in Iran? What's the strategic objective, and how are we going to achieve it?
Senator Slotkin will be among the Democrats attending tonight's speech. Others say they'll boycott altogether. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger will deliver tonight's official Democratic response. Well, still to come on KOAM News at Noon, Mr. Food.
We're turning one of our favorite casseroles into a soup that'll have you smiling from ear to ear. And the secret is coming up next.
Perhaps once a week, perhaps twice a week, I've got to do that. We are tracking some rain chances on the way. Not today, unfortunately, but just around the corner. Look at that and our warmer weather when we come back.
Here's your Skywatch weather forecast from the trusted Roper Kia Weather Center.
KOAM News at Noon. It is Tuesday, and it's a breezy and dry and warm Tuesday as well. We're going to take another quick look from downtown Pittsburgh, where we've got mostly cloudy to, in many cases, just straight up cloudy skies out there. And that's what we're going to have to contend with. Despite the clouds, though, no rain. We do have red flag warnings, and they've been expanded into Arkansas. It's really the biggest change here. Still running at the latest through 8 o'clock tonight. And that is because, again, of how dry it is. Now, a week ago today, we had the same situation. The gusty winds, the fire danger, the dry air, the cloud cover. The only difference is our humidity levels are about 10% higher today than they were a week ago when we went through the same thing. But there you can see heading into the evening, still very dry air. However, look what happens overnight. We see a little moisture build in. Humidity levels a little better. Now we dry out just a smidge back into tomorrow afternoon, but that dryness is short-lived because as we head back into the evening, moisture begins to return, and we're going to see some opportunities for rain. Take a look at these winds. I said it would be 11:47 this morning, 47-mile-an-hour wind gust at the Joplin Airport. We mentioned 45 miles an hour was an average top, but getting close to 50 wasn't out of the realm of possibility, and that is what we are seeing. That's what we'll continue to deal with for the next few hours until eventually these winds begin to subside from west to east. Now again, the reason there aren't red flag warnings out to our far west is because at this point, while it is dry and it is breezy, the gusts, the average expected gusts, aren't reaching red flag warning criteria. As we go into the overnight, once we get past about 1, 2 a.m. at the latest, you can see the winds calm down considerably for us. And while we may have some occasional gusts tomorrow, it won't be anything like today. And because our humidity levels are about 10-12% better than they were a week ago, we don't have the critical fire risk like we had last week, but we still have that elevated fire risk. And again, cannot stress enough, no burning. We did really good last week. All right, we reported on a number of fires off to our west that got out of control. We haven't had the same issues here. We want to keep it that way, so keep it up. No outdoor burning, and of course, be cautious with discarding smoking materials. If you're doing work and it involves any sparks of any kind, make sure you're very mindful of that as well. Now, excuse me, on to the rain chances. Not today, like I said. We have the cloudy skies, but we're not really expecting anything. As we go overnight to tomorrow night, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, that's when we'll see that opportunity. So mostly cloudy to straight up cloudy skies again for most of our Wednesday. However, most of our Wednesday is also dry. We don't have that rain out there. But I think as early as 9, maybe 10, we could start seeing some scattered showers, perhaps even a thunderstorm or two. No severe weather expected with any of this activity, but it will continue to be isolated to widely scattered as we head through the first half of Thursday. And here we are at 8 a.m., still spotty. So this is one of those situations, like just about all of us will have the cloud cover, but not all of us have those rain chances, and many of us may not see any rain at all between late tomorrow and into the first part of our Thursday, but at least it's some kind of chance for rain, which is better than no chance. In fact, take a look at the extended forecast. Over the next 10 days, we have 7 days with at least slight rain chances, which again is better than what we have been doing here lately. We're warmer tomorrow, upper 60s, low 60s Thursday, into the 70s Friday, Saturday. Another system does bring our temperatures down Sunday through Tuesday, and then we start warming up again the second half of next week. So again, these rain chances we have are not that great, but it is the most days with rain chances we've had in quite some time, so we'll certainly take it.
Yeah, and we can certainly use that rain.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Chris. Stick around. We're making shepherd's pie soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard showing us how to make shepherd pie soup in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Here in the test kitchen, we love putting a new spin on old favorites. Today, we're taking a classic one pot and putting it in a soup pot. Yeah, believe it or not, we took all the ingredients of traditional shepherd's pie and created a hot and hearty soup that is perfect for this time of year. All we do is brown some ground beef in a large pot. After it's drained, we add in some water and then some beef broth, a package of refrigerated or frozen diced potatoes, some frozen mixed vegetables, and a few seasonings. Starting with a few supermarket shortcuts makes this come together in no time. After it comes to a boil, we'll reduce the heat and let it simmer so all the flavors can blend together. And the secret to thickening this up is that we stir in some instant potato flakes. And just like I promised you, it has everything a shepherd's pie has. The beef, the veggies, the potatoes, and it's all done in 30 minutes. I hope you'll go online and get the recipe for what we call shepherd's pie soup. So you can serve up bowls of this whenever you need something quick, tasty, and stick to your ribs filling. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a more comforting way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4 state market prices.
All right, again, we've got those red flag warnings out there through at least 8 this evening. No outdoor burning. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. We've seen those winds gusting almost to 50 miles an hour in some cases. Warmer tomorrow, not nearly as breezy. A few isolated shower storms late Wednesday into Thursday. Warmer Friday, Saturday. A little cooler to start next week. More warm weather on the way. And the most rain chances we've seen on the extended forecast in quite some time. They're not great rain chances, but it's the most days we've seen.
We'll take what we can get. We need it for sure.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Chris. What do you have coming up for us tonight?
Well, lots coming up at 5. For starters, it's the latest trend to get folks healthy and hydrated. Loaded water, as it's called, adds all kinds of flavor enhancers, electrolytes, and probiotics to encourage people to drink more water. But some dietitians warn a lot of these homemade recipes involve sugary syrups and calories that people really don't need. Plus, the Aurora Police Department brainstorms ways to improve law enforcement interactions for adults with autism. And it's National FFA Week. We're going to hear about the impacts of the program in Carthage. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dow. Those all sound great. That's the news for now. Thank you for joining us for KOAM News at noon. We had some great visitors in the studio today who took a tour, and we loved having them. Have a great afternoon.